It's week 14 of the fantasy football season, and that means playoff time for a lot of you. Let me count down my top 5 waiver wire picks for week 14. Let me start with number 5, and that is the rookie in Jacksonville, Collin Johnson. Someone, again, not even on the radar until last week, really. He hadn't gotten more than 30 yards in a game until Mike Glennon came along at quarterback, and suddenly it seems like he's favoring the rookie for some reason. They got so many different receivers out there. They also have early pick Laviska Shenault. DJ Chark did miss last week, but he was back this week, and yet it was Johnson who had a team high 66 receiving yards. And that comes after the previous week where he had 96 yards and a touchdown. So the connection is real with Glennon, whatever the reason. So we need to pay attention because quarterbacks do have their preferred targets. And it should be noted that this is a good matchup in week 14 going against Tennessee, which is giving up one of the most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. Great opportunity for Johnson to contribute. Of course, this would be for deeper leagues. Now, number 4, a guy I've been talking about all year. I don't know why he's underappreciated, still only a quarter owned in Yahoo leagues. Tim Patrick, he is the number 1 receiver in Denver. Denver, of course, doesn't inspire thoughts of a prolific offense this year, but still, it's an NFL offense. He is the top target there. Now, rookie Jerry Jeudy, of course, is maybe their most talented receiver. He doesn't look quite right. I think that Achilles is bothering him. He's been playing, but he's had a questionable tag the last couple of weeks. Patrick is leading the way, though. He is the leading receiver on the season with 607 yards, and he just caught a pair of touchdowns on Sunday night against the Chiefs. This will continue. He's going to lead the way. He's shown a lot of athleticism. He's a guy who's, again, just continues to go under the radar, but continues to produce. He's had 300-yard games this season. Going against Carolina this coming week, it's not a bad spot for him. But again, this is a guy that I don't know why people don't see him as flex-worthy, but he is basically any given week, especially if Denver actually has a quarterback on the field. Number 3 at wide receiver, I'm going to go with my guy, Allen Lazard. I know the climb hasn't been quite as fast as I had thought, but of course, recovering from that core muscle surgery, he's played the last 3 weeks. His receiving yards hasn't been that great, but it's going up slowly but surely, up to 50 in week 13. Now, again, that's not start worthy just yet, but this could be the week because going into week 14 gets to play Detroit, which, is basically terrible on both sides of the ball, but especially on defense. And it doesn't really matter how bad the run defense is. Aaron Rodgers is going to pass it no matter what. So I do feel like Lazard could have his breakout again this week, where he broke out back on week 3, but he could do it again in the second half. So this is not just a good pickup, but a good play and not a bad schedule down the stretch. If you keep playing him week 15, week 16, you got Carolina and you got Tennessee, who I've already talked about. If you have the wide receiver 2 for Aaron Rodgers, that's a good place to be. All right, speaking of number 2, let's go with T.Y. Hilton. Did mention him last week, and it looks like the resurgence is real. He went for 8 catches, 110 yards, if you can believe it, in week 13. This is 2 weeks in a row. We have to believe it. He is delivering and gets to play the Raiders this coming week. You got to figure it's going to continue. Maybe he won't put up quite those numbers, but there's a good chance because, as you see, the Raiders are a complete mess nowadays. T.Y. Hilton, we know he's got this ability. He's a veteran. He's been fantasy elite before, and Phillip Rivers is on fire too. So everything clicking for the Colts at the right time. T.Y. Hilton, a must add if available. But the number 1 add this week is Keke Coutee. And we talk about having the top target for Phillip Rivers. The number 2 target for Aaron Rodgers. How about the number 2 target for Deshaun Watson? With Will Fuller now out basically for the season because of suspension, Coutee was a recommended add last week. Hopefully you took that advice because this week he is a must add. Absolutely. He's the top add. You saw what happened. A career best 141 yards. He is going to get targeted a ton. And this came against Indianapolis, which is one of the better defenses out there. I don't care that he's playing Chicago this week. It doesn't matter. Marvin Jones just went off on them. Quintus Cephas, another rookie, for Detroit, he had a nice game against the Chicago defense, so don't be scared away by the matchup. Coutee is going to get targeted a ton down the stretch. Absolutely grab him, even if you are pretty stacked at receiver and you don't need somebody to start or play. You grab him in case you need him because of injuries. Injuries always happen, or you might figure out he's got a better matchup down the stretch than some of the other guys I have because I guarantee he's going to go off again before the year is over. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've hit that subscribe button. You like what you see. We're here to help you each and every week with waiver wire advice, Endgame Live, of course, every Sunday morning. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a comment if you have any questions about other receivers that you'd like to know about. Thanks for watching.